We're here with Tufts University men's soccer coach Josh Shapiro, whose Jumbos just lost 1-0 in the second overtime to Brandeis in the NCAA Elite Eight. Coach, can you make an opening statement?
I think, first of all, you got to credit Brandeis, and you get to this stage, and there's 8 teams left in the country, and everyone is really talented and is deep and hungry and committed, and I was very impressed with them. As always, they're a great rival game, and I hope they represent New England going forward, because I think they have everything in it to do that. I think the second thing is to acknowledge that it's a special season. I don't want our season to be defined in one moment, good or bad. I think it was a fantastic year with several firsts for the program, and first NESCAC championship, and best regular season in program's history, and first time hosting an Elite Eight and a first round pod, and getting a bye in the first round. So I think there's a tremendous amount for our guys to be really proud of. And then I think finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about my senior class and how important they've been, and how much they've brought to our team, and really solidified and pushed our group forward.
So let's quickly talk about the game itself and the wind out at Bellow Field. I mean, there were gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour, I would have to guess. I mean, how much of a factor was the wind today?
I think the wind was a factor. I mean, I think it affected both teams. We both had a half where the wind was a little bit more at our back, but it was swirling, and certainly didn't make it easy to play any passes over distance with any predictability. So I think limited. Both teams were a little bit offensively off their games, probably as a result. But sometimes that's college soccer, and you got to find a way to figure out and how to play well enough to win. And I think we created enough chances that we felt like we could get a goal, and that's obviously been our challenge the last few weeks. And we're just trying to go get that goal, and eventually that might be the thorn on our side, and it was today, losing on a really kind of tough goal to give up late, and feeling like it was tough. But regardless, you got to find a way to take a goal, and that's what we weren't able to do in the last few games.
So let's talk about the seniors. 4 years ago, when you were recruiting them, it was an emerging program. The team would go on to win 2 of the next 3 NCAA championships and become this national force that it is today. Sort of, what's happened from that point where you were recruiting them to come in and play to now? What's been that development?
I don't know. I think first of all, you when you add some soccer results to an unbelievable academic institution, those are great building blocks, right? And Tufts is an unbelievable place, and I think young, smart student athletes recognize the value of what this education brings, and then if we can tie that in with a really strong soccer experience, then we've got something going. And these are one of the early classes to start seeing the success of the program. They were freshmen on the first championship team, and frankly, not a lot of them were key contributors. Matt Zinner played a bunch, but no one else really. So, but they learned, and they got better, and they pushed that group. There was the depth in that group, and now they've emerged as the leaders in our team. And there's freshman and sophomore in this year's team who didn't play as much, but now are learning and getting pushed by these guys, and hopefully sort of see a little bit of a blueprint for how success can work at this level. So they help take us from becoming a strong program to hopefully cemented as a really strong program and a national contender, and we hope to stay there. And hopefully they've shown the way to our young classmen for what that should look like, and in terms of work ethic and commitment and desire to put the shirt on and represent it as well as you can. So I'm incredibly proud of what they've achieved here. 2 national championships, a Sweet 16, and Elite Eight. An unbelievable number of wins. Just incredible productivity from a group of guys who just cared about each other and cared about the team, and left it all out there every time out.
Mm-hmm. How would you characterize them specifically, this group of guys? You just said they're very caring, great leaders, but this group of seniors, what were the qualities that they really specifically brought to the team?
I think, to be honest, like a ton of personality, a ton of quirkiness. They're just like a really goofy group. They give each other a terrible time, and I think it made for a really fun environment. I think we lose like 7 guys, we're going to lose like 20 guys worth of personality. And how to fix that or replace that's going to be really hard to know. Some of the guys, some of them are great at picking the group up. Some of them great are just cutting everybody up and making you laugh. Some of the group guys are just like to argue for no reason. it's just an hysterical group, and I think they enjoy each other, and I think it makes that locker room is really fun. Everyone feels included because of the way they're approachable to the rest of the group, and they've done a great job to make our team a really inclusive group of guys who care about each other, but also know when you step across the line, it's time to roll your sleeves up and do the work for each other. So I think a really special class of guys that we will miss dearly.
So we're sitting here less than an hour since the loss to Brandeis, but if I could ask you sort of what's the future, where do you go from here?
Try to keep attracting fantastic student athletes to the program and continue to build. I think one thing that's been fantastic for me to see is in the last 2 years, you had senior classes with guys who weren't necessarily always established kind of starters or stars in your team, or merged in their senior year and really have really productive senior campaigns. And I'd love to see that happen for the next group of guys. And those guys, in Weatherby and Nahar and Meath and Glover really lead us next year and pull these sophomores and freshmen and along with them and give our chance to play in the NCAA tournament and play for championships and compete like the Dickens and have a great time doing it. But I think that's what the senior classes in the last few years have done, and I'd love to see that happen for this group. But we've got a lot of young freshmen, sophomores out there playing. 2 freshmen were starting in center midfield today. I think the incoming class is terrific. So we feel the future's bright, but talent doesn't mean anything unless you're putting it together and working really hard. And hopefully our guys are, a little bit bitter about this and eager to get back because we know we belong at this level, and we want to fight like crazy, from January on to get ourselves back to the stage because we've enjoyed the experience and we want to get back.
Don't want to end this by making excuses, but tell us how the losses of Tasker and Tulsa affected the way that you guys played.
Yeah, you're missing good players, and I think it's kind of remarkable. It's something like 13 different guys have missed games this year, so that's a huge challenge. But I think it also speaks to the quality of our depth, because there's guys who are stepping up in new situations and playing in new roles, weekly, and getting that done. And we didn't miss a beat on a lot of occasions. Obviously, you get to this stage, and the margin for error is a lot smaller, and especially on a Sunday, losing the quality depth of those 2 guys in particular. But you could also talk about Bruce, and you talk about Joe Braun not being in there for a while, and Max Jacobs just coming off injury, and we've been really banged up. But the guys have done an exceptional job of getting themselves healthy. I think Mike Bonapani, our trainer, deserves a huge shout out for patching the guys back together and getting them out and going, because he's fantastic and integral to our success. But injuries are part of it. They're never easy to deal with, and all you can do is step up in when they happen. But we were missing good players today, and that doesn't help. But we have good players who are playing in their place, and those guys fought really hard for our team today.
Well, thanks very much, Coach, and congrats on a great season.
Thanks very much.